Welcome back to another in our series of People, Places, and Things of the Bible. Our topic for today is listening with your eyes and seeing with your ears. Communication is a fascinating study. Communication is universal, even though it may involve very different aspects from one culture to another. Sociologists, scientists, linguists, and others study the intricacies of language. For our brief time and consideration, we will simply concentrate on talking and listening. Talking is much more than simply words coming out of our mouth. Listening is much more than hearing. How about the visual aspect of communication? Now let's throw in the heart for good measure and consider our attitude in listening and speaking. The more we are aware of this, the greater our ability to be good communicators. But do we really have to be a student of these technical aspects of speech to be competent? Consider what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 13, verses 14 and 15. Indeed, in their case, the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled that says, "You will indeed hear, but never understand. You will indeed see, but never perceive. For this people's heart has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear. And their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn, and I would heal them." When you think about it, all four of those aspects of communication are addressed by Jesus. He spoke the word, yet the people could not see, nor hear, nor accept in their hearts. How are these connected? What is their relationship? How do we make sure we are truly hearing? This is not something peculiar to the time of Christ. This had been a problem in the days of Isaiah, in Isaiah chapter 6, verses 9 and 10, in Jeremiah 5:21, and in the days of Ezekiel, in Ezekiel 12:2. In fact, it may be accurate to say this has been a constant problem of people throughout the ages and continues down to our time. Well, let's bring this to our everyday conversations as it pertains to listening. Have you ever thought of whether or not you are a good listener? Good listeners are aware of more than just the words coming out of someone's mouth. Good listeners watch for nonverbal cues. Experts tell us that in face-to-face conversation, 60 to 90% of communication is nonverbal. Those things such as facial expression, eye movement, gestures, the tone of the voice, posture, proximity, and more. Good listeners take these into account. Good listeners aren't thinking about their response to the person talking or one-upping the story, as they say, or even trying to solve the person's problem they are bringing attention to. Good listeners are active listeners. They reflect back what the person says. They desire a deeper understanding of the other person's plight. One has to wonder if this type of listener was what Jesus looked for when he said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear," in Matthew 11:15. Good listening comes from attributes like humility and counting others more significant than ourselves, Philippians 2:3. Looking out for the interests of others, Philippians 2:4. Gentleness and peacefulness that does not seek to further exasperate a confrontation, but to diffuse it, Proverbs 12:18 and Proverbs 15:1. Patience in listening is a virtue as well in Proverbs 18:3. Good listeners can take criticism and reproof, James 1:19 and Proverbs 25:12. As you can see, good listening comes ultimately from a heart that cultivates and grows spiritually these fruits of the Spirit. We all need to be good listeners. We all can be good listeners. We all should be good listeners. A good start is listening to what God has to say in His Word. The psalmist writes in Psalm 119:12, "Blessed are you, O Lord, teach me your statutes." Are you a good listener? And Lord willing, let's meet here again tomorrow and look at more people, places, and things in the Bible.